Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration, here to inspire, enlighten, and build up humanity. And that humanity includes you, my 1,384 subscribers. Got 2 more the other day. Welcome. Glad you could join us. Today's topic is going to be risk and reward. Right after this. You have to be strong enough to endure these things. You have to approach women. With today's social media, she's constantly being hit on. Women are always in the game. You have to stay focused. We are men. That's what we do. Risk versus reward. Whatever you want in life, there's going to be a certain amount of risk. What kind of risk? Well, usually the bigger the goal, the more the risk. The more fear, the more nervousness you will have to face. It's funny how people want to avoid anxiety, which is just another word for fear. How much anxiety do I have? I can make a list of things. Let me see. I'm flying to Orlando tomorrow to meet a guy that has given me the opportunity to do webinars for his company. He's doing, and he's where I want to be in the YouTube, venture that I'm doing. I'm nervous about that. Fearful about flying down there. I haven't flown for a while. Okay, I got this job I'm bidding, and I did one once before. We made really good money on it, so I have another one I'm doing. But the one I did before, I was really afraid of because it was out of my comfort zone, to say the least. And so here's another one. But our company made more money on that job than any other job we had ever done. So I have another opportunity. And once again, I'm nervous. I'm afraid. It's all just fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of whatever. Anytime you're going to risk, there's going to be fear. Think about Elon Musk. How many rockets has he blown up? Look at the ridicule, the people talking badly about him. He admired Neil Armstrong and some of those guys that went to the moon, and they all badmouthed him and said he shouldn't be doing that. His heroes. So I'm sure he felt bad about that. So he takes risks and he gets ridiculed. You have to be willing to say, screw what everybody else thinks. This is what I know I'm supposed to do, and just do it. And even if you fail, you haven't failed. You've just taken one more step towards discovering how to achieve what you desire. Ask Thomas Edison about that one. Failure is just the pathway to success. And anytime you risk failure, you're going to have fear. You're going to have to risk. Every time your heroes get out there on the field of honor, which happens to be football, soccer, tennis, whatever, skiing, whatever it happens to be, you think they don't have fear? Or they're not nervous? I know when I was fighting, some of the guys would throw up every time before they fought because they would get so nervous. That's a big fear. I was able to overcome that with mentalization and visualization. I never got sick, but I know that fear was powerful, and it actually kept me from fighting sometimes because I would get hurt working out so hard because I was afraid of embarrassing myself. I had to do one more round, do one more push-up, do one more whatever, and then I would get injured because of fear, because there was a risk of getting the shit beat out of me when I got in the ring. And did that happen? Yes, it did. But did I get in the ring again after that? Yes, I did. You got to take a risk unless you want to live a life of quiet desperation. Is that the kind of life you want to live? I would say the answer to that is no, if you're listening to me. If you're listening to me, then you must want something different in life. My life has been a hell of an adventure. Read the book, Amazon, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels. Some people would say I've made some foolish mistakes. Maybe I have. Who gives a shit? I at least made some. I have no regrets. I look back on my life and I have no regrets in regards to saying, well, I wish I would have done that. No, I tried it. Hell, I've been married 4 times. I got divorced, been through the divorce court, lost everything 2 or 3 times, about lost my freedom twice, had to leave the country, had to leave another country, etc., etc. Do I regret that? No. Those were the most valuable lessons of my life, and had I not gone through that, I would not be here with you today sharing what I have learned. So maybe you don't have to go through that. Maybe you can go through something else and learn other lessons. Life is a series of lessons. You either learn the lesson or you repeat it over again. And some people believe if you don't get it this time, you come back and live another life, and it's even more difficult then until you get the lesson. What is the lesson? I'm not sure. Each little situation you learn something from. I really think we're all here to learn how to love. We're a long ways from that, and we still got a lot of people killing each other, and on it goes. So I'm not one of these guys that's going to go up and hug everybody and tell them I love them, okay? I will give a person a hug if they need it, but I think that's why we're here. Maybe in another 10, 20, 50,000 years, we might get there. But right now, you still got to kind of be tough as a man. You got to be able to protect yourself and your family, because everybody isn't on the road to being loving and kind. Some people are out there to kill you and rob you, okay? That's just the way life is. But hey, think about this. If the world was perfect and everybody was just loving and caring and understanding, it wouldn't be a very good place for spiritual growth or metaphysical growth, or you wouldn't have to gain character and integrity and strength to survive some of these things. So think about that. I know a lot of the religious people think this is a fallen world, but in reality, it's a perfect place for spiritual growth. Where would you learn how to forgive, how to be compassionate? We have to have these contrasting realities and life experiences for everyone, for us to be able to learn how to love. And when I talk about love, I'm not talking about this, I'm so in love. I can't live without her. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the kind of love that you're going down the street and you see your brother on the sidewalk. You don't know who he is. Maybe he's black, white, Chinese, whatever, and he's hurt. You got to get to work. You're going to be late, but you stop and help that guy. You don't know him. You have no feelings for him. You don't expect anything back from him, but you put yourself out to help that person in need. Now, let's say that was an enemy. Would you do the same? I think you would. I think you would. I know I would. There's people I don't like. I don't really consider I have enemies, but there are people that I just don't care for, people that have offended me. I can think of somebody right now who badmouths me quite a bit. Would I stop and help them if they were having problems? Yes, I would. If I knew they wouldn't use it to try to get me in more trouble. So that's love. Do I feel like helping that person? No. I feel like maybe doing something dastardly to them. I don't think about that because that's resentment, but that would be more the way I would sway in my human form. But I override that with my logic, rational thinking that can overcome emotion. And that's where you as a man have the ability many times where a woman can't quite do that, is to overcome your emotions and act on logic. Okay, logically, I would stop and help the guy. And I'm sure I would feel better afterwards, even though I don't like the person. That's the kind of love I'm talking about. The love that asks nothing in return. Now, when you're in a relationship, you have to be, aware of what is coming back to you. Because if you're giving and giving and giving, and you're not receiving anything in return in your intimate relationships, that's not love either. And you're not being loving towards them if you are enabling them to not fulfill their responsibilities in this relationship or in life. Many times people are codependent and they enable people. Okay, but that's way off the path of risk. Back to risk. You got to be willing to risk. When you were a kid, you had to risk to get on that bicycle and learn how to ride it. You had to risk falling over and scratching your knees or your arms or bumping your head. I guess kids still do that. I don't know. If you climb a tree, you may fall out, but just think how cool it is when you get up there to the top. Do kids still climb trees? I don't know. I'm not sure what they do. When you take a walk out in the woods, you risk, you don't know what's out there. Maybe there's animals. Maybe somebody's out there that's going to get you if you go by yourself or with someone. I mean, all of these things are risks, but these are what makes life fulfilling. And sometimes it doesn't turn out good, but it takes everything to have a fulfilling life. You got to take a risk. The greatest successes in life have taken the greatest risks. Some of them locked up, some of them burned, some of them crucified, but you don't have to worry about that, at least here in the West. So what do you got to lose? Take a risk today. Live your life. Enjoy your life. Have a fulfilling life. You can do it, but you got to risk it. All right, that's all I have time for today. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspiration.com is my website, and you can see my email in the description. And I'm out of here, guys. Have a great day. Take care.